Well, that backfired in your face. You keep trying to say, no, you came from this area. No, we didn't, sweetie. If you pay attention to my channel and who comes to my channel, you would already know. There are mixed men and light-skinned black men on my channel. You could have known that by my first video. Who was I hyping up? Now, I did restrain myself in that video, actually, from saying that, oh, yes, I do think that pretty nice, too. Nice looking. Which, I mean, it's kind of obvious that I like my own phenotype, so is that really a shock? Now, anyway, so I have never steered away from admitting that I'm attracted to mixed men. That's what it is. And no, some people, like the dark skins, usually you guys don't really like light skin and mixed race people. Really, what happens in those situations, those people really like white people, for example. At least, that's what I'm going to say in this video. I'm not trying to say in this video that everybody feels that way. But that's what I've seen with a lot of dark-skinned people who prefer light-skinned and mixed people, is that they really want white people. But this is kind of like their euphemism way of getting white people, I guess. Which is really weird, because, I mean, like, mixed and light-skinned people don't look like white people, but that's their way of doing it. So, for me, personally, that's not the case. Because I don't view mixed people as less than white people. I actually like their phenotype more. I prefer brown phenotypes the most. Okay, so the ideal man for me looks like this. He has brown skin like me, light brown skin like me, curly black hair, preferably green eyes, sharp features like sharp nose, sharp brow ridge, sharp like angular face shape, sharp chin, square jaw, thin lips, narrow nose that's very keen and sharp, and very hairy. That's my type of man, a hairy brown man. Now, the race I just described, what race was that? I don't even know, really, honestly. It could be any race. It could be an Arab, it could be an Indian, it could be someone who is Hispanic, it could be a mixed race person, but my ideal man looks like that. And specifically skinny, too. Of course, very skinny. And I guess you could say close to 6 foot. That's my preference. But it doesn't have to be 6 foot. I mean, like 5'10", 5'9". Like, to me, that's a typical short height. But hey, who knows? Anyway, so that's my preference. We're not going to get into any more detail than that, because that's not what this video is about. So, yeah. That's not a specific race. For me, it's a specific phenotype, and that phenotype happens to be in common with my own. And why do I have a favor towards my own? It's because, well, that's pretty normal. Most people do prefer phenotypes most close to themselves. The only thing is, for me, it's not specifically people within my race. It's people in or out of my race, really. Honestly, it really doesn't matter if they're within my race or if they're outside of my race. That's inconsequential for me. Anyway, so for me, I was just pointing out that saying I'm white worshipping is going to backfire on you, because I come from the golden sphere side, and that's the phenotype I support. I've kind of supported all this time. The thing is, with that whole situation is you guys love to switch it up. Sometimes you like to say mix is black, and sometimes you say it's not. And so for me, it's just well, I don't know. But, if mix is not black, then I guess black is just black. And then the thing is with that is, mostly you guys like to say black is more like dark skin. Now, the problem with that is, personally for me, well, I'm not going to fit into that category. I don't have the kinky hair you guys have, and I don't have the black skin you have. As you can tell, that's my natural hair, too. And you could keep on saying about the whole thing of attractiveness, but, I mean, beauty is mathematical. And as far as that goes, it's an 8.34, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, what I wanted to say was specifically out of these photos here, I'm showing these specifically to show how these people look different in different lighting. Also to show myself without makeup, to show, yeah, I'm not wearing lighter foundation or anything. That's just something you made up in your head. Now, the problem I think that you guys have is that you don't like accepting that I am the phenotype that I am. I'm the shade that I am. And it is what it is. It's not like I tried to make myself this way. It's just that I naturally am this way. I have a baby photo of myself, and when I was a baby, I was actually pink. So, I mean, you're really trying so hard to wish I was dark skin as if it's a bad thing. My own mother, I say, is dark skin, and I say dark skin is beautiful. The problem is right now is that you are having such a negative campaign. I can't even say dark skin is beautiful because you're too busy trying to attack me and my natural skin tone. As if I'm some light-skinned chick or something. I'm not even light-skinned. I've been trying to convince you guys. I'm brown-skinned. If you could see me in person, you'd know you are so stupid to be trying to accuse me of bleaching. Now, this is a photo here of me right on a day where I was in the bathroom. This is the same day. And this is when I'm in the living room. And then there's the same day where it's screenshotted of a video on Christmas, and it looks like exactly this. So see, I look darker depending on the lighting. So you can't really say that I bleach when I specifically look like 3 different skin tones in one day, depending on if I had the light on, turned off the light, stood near the sun, like not the sun, but the window where the sunlight is coming in, or not, So, I mean, like, you keep trying to make up that I am someone who's trying to make myself lighter. Well, that video I had was a video I had back in December. It's only been a month. So, obviously, I did not change my skin tone that fast within a month. You have to go look on the bleacher side of YouTube. You would see those people talk about getting their skin tone down to a certain shade after a couple years. It takes them a long time. It doesn't take a month. Now, here's the thing I wanted to talk about, though, was specifically, like I said, my preference is not specifically white men. Like, I don't value white features like that. This is why I find dark hair more attractive than blonde hair, and things of that nature. Now, personally, for me, what I've dated, okay, opposites attract, honestly. And a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed, fair-skinned guys have always seemed to prefer me. So that's what I've dated. And honestly, it's because of quantity. That's what I say all along. For me, with mixed men, it's like this. They're a minority inside a minority. Yes, black people are a minority, and then mixed people are a minority. So how am I supposed to prefer people who are a minority out of a minority? So, of course, I don't. And so for me, I was raised to actually prefer white people, white men. And for me, it's like that's the norm, especially as far as culture. That's another thing with like a lot of mixed race. Men, they have this mentality where they think there's such a thing as a black culture. And when they do that, they assume that I have that culture. Well, I don't like assumptions made on me or stereotypes. It's not really preference. So for me, it's just like something I don't want to go with, really. And this is why I've always veered away from people who stereotype against me. So that's one reason I have had my roadblocks. Now, here's another thing I'm showing on the screen. I'm showing people who have my skin tone, who have brighter lighting on them. I also showed previously people who had darker lighting on them. These are the same people, but they have darker lighting and brighter lighting to show that lighting really depends on the way the skin tone is going to look for a brown skin girl. Like I said, since you don't have toffee skin tone, of course, you don't know how it works. Now, on the other thing I was saying on white worshiping, I am one who does not white worship. But yes, you do. Geisha, you definitely white worship because you called black men the N-word. You saw black men as not valuable because of their race, not because of anything else, it's specifically because of their race. And then you had the nerve to be trying to say that that's me. No. I don't think anyone acts differently because of their race. I think there are good black men and good white men. That's how I feel. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. And I would never think that black people are less than because of their skin tone. That's just me. Now, do I think that some people look better with certain skin tones? Hell yeah. Of course I do. And I think you should too. As a dark-skinned black woman, you should. And you should because you should love your skin tone as it is. Now, as far as Keisha, you were trying to compare your skin tone to me. Now it seems like you're just jealous because your skin tone is darker than mine, which I can tell because you will show yourself in bright lighting and it kind of just looks a bit yellow. It doesn't turn this color or my color. I'm exact skin tone twin to Nicki Minaj. And as you can see, her skin does get very bright in certain lightings, just like mine does. And then her skin goes very brown in other lightings. It just really depends on what's going on with how the light is hitting your skin. So basically, my whole point in this conversation with you is, I feel like a major problem with you is that you have a lot of jealousy. You have a lot of anger. You feel like you held up white men like, they were some prize. And personally, for me, I just don't do this. Like, I don't even tell anyone that I prefer white men over other races. And honestly, this wouldn't be the truth. On a cultural sense, I do prefer white Americans. Heck yeah. Because the way I was raised was white Americans have the same culture as black Americans. So, of course, I prefer them for those reasons, but not for a phenotypical reason. No, I have family. My male relatives are all very light-skinned. And when I say light-skinned, I mean lighter than me, for sure. Because I'm like Rihanna's color. That's my color. My Fenty shade is 370 over here in Nevada. See, I'm not even my lightest shade out here in Nevada. I'm actually darker in the winter. In the winter in Michigan, I was a 330 in Fenty, which is exactly Rihanna's shade. So, my cousins are very yellow. They're like Zendaya Coleman's color, all the way down to basically Halsey's color. Yes, I have white passing cousins. So, for me, for the male phenotype, my cousins, my uncles, all the way up to my great-grandfathers, fathers, by the way, all of them are non-dark-skinned black people, and so that's why for me, the dark-skinned black male phenotype is very abnormal because that's not what I grew up around. The only people that I saw that were darker were my aunts and my mother and my grandmother, and they are, by your standards, brown-skinned for the most part, except my half-aunt is definitely dark-skinned. Besides that, everybody is probably in the brown-skinned category somewhere, according to you guys. According to light-skins, they're dark-skinned, and according to light-skins, I'm brown-skinned. But apparently, since you're so dark, you can't tell the difference. Now, what I want to say out of this whole situation is this. You keep trying to wish that I had some understanding of being dark-skinned. And this is what I want to tell you. My personal experience as far as when you talk about self-hating dark-skinned black men, because it's not colorism, but it's self-hating, they actually tend to prefer me over your phenotype. Yeah, over your phenotype for sure. And over dark-skinned black women, because they don't really like the wider features that you have, basically. My features aren't very wide, and my hair is curly. That's my natural hair, as I said. And my hair turns kind of like a goldish color in the summer, so they tend to like those features that I have. And this has always been a danger for me. That's why I said, like, I would get, like, followed to the bathroom, in a secluded bathroom at night, and I almost thought that I was, going to be assaulted or something was going to happen wrong. Thankfully, security came and helped me in that situation. But my whole point in this is just saying that, there are plenty of, different experiences I have that dark-skinned black women don't have on that basis. For me personally, this is a major reason why I'm not attracted to dark-skinned black men, because I'm not dark-skinned. So your traits that you have are very different to me. Like having a darker vagina is very weird to me. Very weird. Mine is not dark at all. It's pink. It's basically the same color as someone who has an olive complexion. Like some white women have the same hue that I have down there. My other parts, like everything chest down for me is very like a tan person's skin tone. I don't have dark nipples. I don't have, dark places on me. My body itself is very, very pale. It's totally mismatched from my face in the summertime too, because my face can get really dark, but my body stays very light because it's in clothing, and I'm in Nevada, so it darkens my face, but it doesn't darken my body. So, those traits that dark-skinned black men have, like their genitals being very dark, reminds me of feces, or their nipples being extremely dark, or their body hair being kinky, which you have to understand, I don't have kinky body hair. I don't have kinky hair. I don't have kinky anything, And so, yeah, for those reasons, kinky body hair is so odd to me. Like, that is so weird. So many things about you guys is just so odd. And you think I should be attracted to dark-skinned black men because it makes you feel bad that you're dark-skinned and I'm not attracted to that? I'm sorry, I can't tell you anything about that. I can't make myself attracted to them. It's just weird to me, and it's not attractive, okay? So that's just my perspective on that. I did not leave or not have any interest in black men because they thought I was too dark. That's not my personal experience. I think you wish that was my experience, but that's not my experience. My problem is harassment, especially from dark-skinned black men. Also, one other thing I want to say in this video is, this is a photo of my body. Now, I know y'all guys are going to be angry, but anyway, this is a photo of my body, basically, and you can see that my skin tone is on the lighter spectrum of the situation. It's just what it is. It's lighter than my face. It's just lighter. And yeah, that was, by the way, taken, and you can see that it's not obviously something where I can... It's a before photo, let's just say that. It's a before photo. It's a long before photo. So you can tell that my body is very, much on the lighter spectrum of things. I'm sorry, it is what it is. So anyway, for me personally, when it comes to my personal experiences on my phenotype, there's also other things about it. Obviously, like I said, I come from the golden sphere. The main thing that bothered me was Chrissy saying like that lighter skinned people dealt with with better ways of life and stuff, and people are going to treat you well. Well, that was the thing. I was like, no, I wasn't treated better for my skin tone. And I was specifically wanting to tell my story, basically, and how there is no benefit unless you like a self-hating black man. But not all of us want to bear a child that is self-hating and dark-skinned for a dark-skinned, self-hating, dark-skinned black man. Because that's what would happen. He's going to have kids. He's going to make you have babies that are dark-skinned and self-hate. And how are you going to teach that child to love themselves when you're not that color and he hates his color? It's hell, basically. So for me, that's just one reason why I just always felt like, I needed to make a channel in reference to Chrissy, to just have a retorting channel basically that is against what Chrissy has to say. Now, also outside of this whole situation, I have one more thing to say. For me, with my personal experiences, I've had 2 experiences that have let me know I can never really align quite with dark-skinned black women because they don't see me the same as them. And that's just life. For one, and in my experience, I've had situations where I was around a girl who was black and Mexican, and people confused me for her often. They often thought we were similar because we had similar sizes, and we had similar skin tones, and we had similar hair, and we had similar faces. Everything was very similar. And, I've been confused for biracials often, And the reason I say this is because when you think of it, with white men, it's generally the men I've dated have usually dated like Asian, Indian, or mixed women. Something along those lines, Asian, Indian, Arab, something like that. Not specifically dark-skinned black women. I can't offer a man qualities that dark-skinned black women can because I don't have their characteristics. When I don't have their, the color of my parts, my body, are not sexually appealing in the same way a dark-skinned woman's is. Say a man loves a dark-skinned vagina, a dark-skinned woman who has dark skin all over, and her breasts are dark skin, her nipples are, you get what I'm saying, dark lips. If he's attracted to all of that and I have none of it, what does it benefit me to try to attract a man like that? It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're trying to set me up for failure. Is it that you just don't want me to be happy and find happiness because it makes you feel threatened? But yeah, the guy I'm with now has never dated a dark-skinned black woman. He didn't even know I was black the first time he met me. So, that's just that. I've had that happen a couple times, actually. Also, another thing is, my personal experiences with dark-skinned black women, specifically one person when I was 20, literally tried to say I was racist because I wouldn't let her watch on my phone lesbian porn, basically, because she knew that she was harassing me and she was inappropriate. So she tried to make up the fact that I was having some issue with her, that I was racist against her of some sort. And it was interesting to me because it was like she was a lady who was, dark-skinned. And I didn't know they saw me so differently racially. And after that point, I was always like, oh, okay, know your place. You call yourself black to appease people because people get angry if you don't. But you can't really associate with them like that because they don't really see you like that. It's just a namesake situation for me. So anyway, my whole point in this whole video that I'm sharing with you is just to explain that, I personally do not have the whole experience that you want me to have where, you're leaving black men because they rejected you or whatever. I mean, I've had black men who had several $1 million homes try to talk to me. I don't want them, okay? So, I've had all kinds of types of men who would talk to me that were black. They're not my preference. They're not my interests. It doesn't matter. It's just what it is. Being lighter skinned or whatever, and attracting black men is not going to make it where you want black men. You have to want a self-hating, dark-skinned black man in order for that to happen. You know, if you don't want him and you don't see him as a prize and you weren't taught to prefer him, and I wasn't taught to prefer them, you know, my mother doesn't prefer dark-skinned black men, just to let you know. That's why I'm not dark-skinned, because my mother doesn't like them. And my father is a lighter-skinned black man. He's the same color as me, actually. And anyone can look him up, because I actually put his name down. But, yeah, seriously, I wasn't taught to prefer dark-skinned black men. My mother has the same sentiments that their parts look like feces. I've talked to her about it before. So, yeah, she specifically always preferred for me to prefer white men, specifically. Not light-skinned men, but white men, specifically, you know. And that's how I was taught. I was desensitized by that, you know. And so, basically, because of that, because of quantity and the numbers, I ended up dating men that were white or Hispanic only, because the numbers of mixed men are not a popular number. You know, it's not a lot of it's not a lot of mixed men out there. So for me, it's much easier to just date a man who's Hispanic or white. And it seems like it's worked out pretty well for me, considering, I'm in a long-term relationship with a white. But yeah, making the whole claim that I specifically white worship is just not going to work on this channel. Anyone can look at some of the videos I've made. See, I don't do the worship thing. You know, I date mainly white and Hispanic men, you know, and I find them equally attractive when I find them attractive. But, you know, I still have a strong attraction to mixed men and men of my own complexion. It's not a shock. People are usually used to people liking what they are. It's only dark-skinned black people who don't. And then they get mad at everyone else because it offsets how they feel about everyone else, because they like another phenotype, and then that phenotype doesn't always like them, and then they freak out because they feel like they should be the default just simply because they don't like what they are. You know, that's not my business. You know, that's not white people's business. It's a you problem. You know, you need to fix that and work on your self-esteem. So that's all I have to say in this video. You know, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye, guys.